I am holding a great podcast mic, and I'm recording this on my Apple iPhone 10. Yep, it's 2 generations old. You better not. Oh my God, you're fucking my audio up, boy. That's my dog walking if you guys can't hear him. Anyway, I'd like to welcome you guys to the Say Dat Podcast. My name is Vuitton Bond, and I'm your host. Now, before we get into it, I'd like to tell you guys that this show is brought to you by www.VuittonBondmusic.com. If you go to my website, you guys can go ahead and sign up for my email list. And once you do that, you'll get my brand new mixtape, Gold Bars. It's not just a tape, though. It's basically you get 2 songs a day, every day for 5 days. And it's an experience. So you guys need to check your email every day. You're going to get something new, fresh. It's going to be crazy. These are songs that I've not dropped yet. www.VuittonBondmusic.com. Go ahead and sign up today. Also, this show is brought to you by the listeners of Vuitton Bond. Shout out to all of you guys. And, man, I got some special treats for y'all. So let's get into it. This is episode number 1, the Alpha and the Omega. This is the introductory episode of my podcast. I'm very, very excited. I think this is fucking awesome, fucking amazing. So let's get into it. First things first, who am I? So I'm Vuitton Bond. I'm a recording artist. I'm also a producer. I've been making music since 2004. It's really my passion, man. I love hip hop. I love creating things. I love art. And I feel like doing a podcast is an extension of all of that. So here we are, man. I wanted to give you guys some extra content on a weekly basis. I wanted to give you guys some extra material as a companion to my music. Instead of just me doing a song every day or every week, I can actually reach out to you guys and have a real conversation and create a dialogue about whatever. I'd like to cover things going on in society and culture, but I want to talk about music as well. I want to talk about the creative process and my journey of being an artist. And I really feel like it'll help anybody who's out here basically trying to forge their own path and go it on their own in whatever they're doing. If I can be there for you, that's really my goal. It's just to add value to your life. That's one of the buzzwords going on today, value, right? It's all about adding value. Well, that's what I'm here to do, okay? So that's who I am. That's why I'm doing the podcast. And let me go ahead and tell you guys about the format that I'm running with right now. Basically, what I'm doing is my intention for now is to do 1 podcast per week. It's just going to be me speaking on a topic for now. We'll basically let it evolve and see where it goes. And I definitely want to hear input from you guys as to what you'd like to hear. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to, slide in my DMs and we can make something happen. Okay? So this first episode, this is the Alpha and the Omega. This is the Genesis, man. It's the beginning and the end. So, here we are, December 2019. I'm releasing this podcast on December 16th. Why? Because it's my birthday, man. It's my birthday. We're celebrating basically the end of a cycle for me, the end of my 20s, the beginning of my 30s. We're also celebrating the end of an old decade and the beginning of a new decade. We're getting out of the teens and we're going into the 2020s now. And time flies, man. I tell you, this decade just really whizzed by. And I can remember way back in, 2009, 2010, where I was 19, I was 20 years old. And, I feel like I was in the same position, man. I'm still chasing this dream, still on my path, still pursuing my purpose and my vision. And I'm having a whole lot of fun doing it. And I'll never stop. You guys, you push forward. You keep doing what you want to do. You keep working on your vision every day. That's what I'm doing, okay? So it's the beginning of a whole new cycle. It's really awesome. It's really fun. And it's the end of a lot of things. We could look back and we could reflect We could sit here and say, hey, you know what? I feel like I did the best I could. And even if you can look back and say, hey, maybe I didn't do my best. Well, now you have an opportunity to go forward and start fresh. It's all about fresh starts, man. So I'm celebrating my birthday the whole month. I'm trying to have champagne every week, no cap. That's where I am right now. So I got a lot of things in the works, man. Album coming out next year. I want to give you guys a song every month. And then I want to give you this podcast as well. But what about you guys? What are you going to do for 2020? What are you going to do to make this coming decade your decade? What do you have planned? I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. Also, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify, leave a review. Also, subscribe to the podcast. And leave a review, man. Definitely leave a review. If you leave a review for this podcast, I will shout you out. No cap. I will do that for you because, again, I'm all about fostering relationships. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about fostering relationships. So I want to hear from you guys if you're listening. Okay? So just you guys let me know what your plans and your goals are. Oh, and feel free to DM me on IG or on Facebook because I basically answer to everything. And you can email me at bond@VuittonBondMusic.com if that's the way you want to get in touch. Okay? So that's that. One more thing I really want to talk about, though, is the title of the podcast, Say Dat. Where did that come from? Well, if anybody who really listens to me knows my work, you know that Say That's one of my ad-libs. So, I'll be in the middle of a song. You might hear it under the verse. You might hear it at the beginning when I'm about to go off. You might hear it at the end after I said something crazy. Bow, say that, And that is one of my signatures. Now, where I got it from, I got to give a shout out to my boy, Privy Peso. He's one of my best friends. Met the guy in high school way back in the day. Met him on MySpace, but we also went to the same school, Athens Drive. And we had a mutual respect for each other because, hey, he raps, I rap, and we're both good, shit. That's how your social circles grow, right? You meet somebody, and they have the same interests as you, and you guys we click, We click. So we've been making music, man, since probably like 2006. We've been making music for that long, but he was using Say That as one of his ad-libs for a while. This was like maybe 2012, 2013, 2014, something like that. And unfortunately, my dog went away for a little bit. And in honor of him, I started using that ad-lib, Say That. And hell, man, when he came back, I was like, bro, I've been saying Say That. I got to take this, because it's just dope. I fuck with it so hard. I was like, bro, let me get that. And I've been saying it ever since. So, on most songs and on most, a lot of freestyles, but most songs, you'll hear me say that. You'll also hear me say bravo. That's another ad-lib I use. And let's ride. I got that from a Kevin Hart joke. One of my favorite Kevin Hart jokes. So, I just, I love it. That's what I do now. But let me tell you guys something real quick about the whole podcasting game. This is my first foray into an alternate form of audio. I thought to myself, because I've been kicking around this idea for a few years, for like, I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 years, and I've not really done it. I've kind of been like, yeah, I'm interested, but I wasn't ready to jump in with both feet. I'm doing that now. So the thing that came to my mind was, well, look, my favorite artists, they don't have podcasts. Jay-Z doesn't have a podcast. Eminem doesn't have a podcast. Drake doesn't have a podcast. J. Cole doesn't have a podcast. Kendrick Lamar didn't need a podcast to get on. But then I was like, yo, what if they had a podcast? What if Future had a fucking podcast. I'd listen to that shit every fucking day because he's one of my favorite artists. So if my favorite artist had a podcast, I would be consuming that content on the regular. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm somebody's favorite artist. I mean, if I am somebody's favorite artist, that's a blessing. I'm so grateful for that. But at least at this point in my career, you know, we could kind of grow together, you and I. So that's where I'm at right now. So this was the first episode of the Say Dat Podcast, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Let's go out of 2019 with a bang, come into 2020 like a lion. Let's go get it, you know? Let's just be aggressive and relentless in our pursuits. Let's really take this shit by the horns, man. Let's do this. Let's take it to the next level. You guys, make sure you go to www.VuittonBondmusic.com. Sign up, get that Gold Bars mixtape, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Say that.